Good morning, sir. Good morning to all the participants. I would like to warmly welcome our DSW sir, Dr. J.M. Srivastava sir, who has joined from his office. I'd also like to welcome our speaker of today's workshop, Dr. Amritesh sir. So thank you so much, sir, for accepting our request. It was really very kind of you, and we were trying to have this session from you since long, since we have started a agribusiness management college in our university. So all the students of that college have joined today. So this session is really very valuable for them also, sir. So very briefly, I would like to introduce sir. After that, I will be calling DSW sir for his welcome address. So Amritesh sir has been working in IIT Ropar as a faculty member of Humanities and Social Sciences, and he is specializing in management. He is working in the IIT Ropar since 2017. His research interest falls in the broader area of consumer behavior, and also he is working on the transformative elements of consumer well-being. So his current research is focused on consumers' self-identity by integrating Eastern, particularly the ancient knowledge, Indian knowledge system, as well as Western perspectives. So on the teaching front, Sir has designed and taught a number of undergraduate, master's level and research-oriented courses. And his research articles has appeared in leading journals such as Sage, um, journals published by Sage Publications, Emerald, Westbourne, Springer, Tiller and Francis, Cambridge University Press. So, sir is the area of interest of sir is commonly based on consumer behavior and Indian knowledge system. Though his research interest is also in consumption in yogic traditions, minimalism, ancient knowledge systems, consumer spirituality and well-being, identity, imaginations and decision-making, value co-creation and sustained well-being. So I had the opportunity to work with Sir, and also we published a short case study, which was published in a very reputed journal in a very short period of time. So Sir is a mentor to me, and it is really delightful to listen to Sir. So, sir, today's session was registered by around 294 participants, but we can see that some 60 of them have joined. So the participants are mostly students, sir. 65% of the participants are students, followed by faculty members, and few are freelancers. So the
Mhm.
ratio of students joining this session is 65%, faculty members around 30%, and some freelancers have also joined out of interest. And also
Mhm.
all the students of our Agribusiness Management College, they have also joined this session, sir, today,
Okay,
and they
great.
are waiting to listen to you. So, thank you, sir. So now I'd like to call upon Dr. J.M. Srivastava, sir, who is our Director of Students Welfare at our university. So sir is very instrumental in helping us organize this program, and sir is very helpful to move all the files. We don't face any problem when sir is in charge. So thank you so much, sir, for joining this session
Great.
today, sir. So I would like to invite sir for his welcome address. Sir, just a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, you're
You,
audible, sir.
you are audible.
Yes, sir. You're audible, sir.
Good morning to all of you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to all today's virtual workshop on the topic exploring agri-business insight with case studies of India's agriculture sector. We are thrilled to have you join us for this engaging and enlightening session. Today, workshop promising to be rich a stimulating exploration into the dynamic world of agribusiness in India. With agriculture being a cornerstone of India economy, understanding its complexities and opportunities is crucial for all stakeholders involved. We are particularly honored to Dr. Amritesh, Assistant Professor of Management for this workshop. Dr. Amritesh bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise in agri-business management, and this insights into the sector current and challenge are invariable. His work on case study of understanding agriculture sector will provide us with a unique perspective helping us to better understanding and navigate the involved landscape of agriculture business. Series of compelling case study that highlight both successful strategies and lesson learned with the Indian agriculture sector. These case study will offer us practical insights and actionable takeaway that can be applied to various facets of agriculture business management. I encourage all of you to actively participate, ask question, and engage in discussion. This is an opportunity to gain in-depth knowledge and connect with fellow professionals who share a common interest in advancing in field of agriculture business. Thank you, Dr. Amritesh, for his willingness to share his expertise with us. Thank you very much. Please start.
Thank you so much, sir, for the welcome address. We are really thankful to you for this. So I would like to call upon Amritesh sir for his deliberation. So, please.
Fine. So first of all, let me thank you, Aditya, for inviting me, and of course, thank you, Dr. Srivastava, for welcoming me in this session. And I thank all the participants over there who have come to listen to this session and discuss the issues that we will propose. And overall, thank you to the Bihar Agriculture University Sabour to create such kind of session that connects agribusiness from both science and management perspectives. So here I would like to first tell you that what I'm going to discuss today, because this is going to be a kind of discussion. So I will be talking less and communicating and interacting more with you people. And in this session, I will first, provide you some information about the agribusiness landscape and how it is emerging in India. And later on, quickly, I will move to one case that I have just reviewed for one international journal. So I will pitch one case study before you, and that is a case of an Indian agribusiness startup only. So that is a very relevant case, I think. That's why I have brought it to you. So before proceeding ahead, I would like to ask you, so are you comfortable with the language switching between Hindi and English? All of you are comfortable, so language shouldn't be a barrier between our communication. I also belong to Bihar, so I understand how things happen and how it creates a panic and barrier among the students. So anytime, any language you want to talk into, just pitch in. Don't hesitate. So I will try to convert it into the more presentable format, whatever I have with me. Fine. So पहले as Aditya said, 65% हमारे पास students हैं, right? So all the students are from Bihar or from other states as well?
So they are from other states also, sir.
All
From
right.
all parts of India. Yeah.
All parts of India. That's great. So
Yes.
fine. So Hindi shouldn't be a problem for any of you, because I understand Hindi and all the Bihari language to an extent. I understand Punjabi as well as Bengali also. Marathi is a bit difficult for me, but the case I will be presenting today is a startup from Maharashtra only. So you will find this case interesting. So let me share my slides first.
So you can share the slides, sir. I've given you the sharing rights. Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Is it showing at your side?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Yes,
Clearly
sir.
visible.
Fine. And let me go to the slides. Please check if the slides are moving. Slides are moving now?
It's moving, sir. Yeah, it's
All
moving.
right, fine. All right, so I have already told you that what I will be discussing. So let's first try to understand the agribusiness in India, the landscape and how it is emerging. So I have one snapshot of a recent report by uh, INC 42, that no conglomerate, you can say it's an association that present the reports related to agribusiness industry. So you can see some leading startups are mentioned there. Their logos are there: Vehicle, Big Heart, Cropin, Ergos. There are many, including one company Dehat, at which we have published our case study with Aditya. So all these startups are there, and those are basically tech startups. Those are classified under tech startups because of the emergence of information technology, and now we are plunging into artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that is also getting into agriculture in various ways. So we have app-based services where business ventures are coming up. That includes advisory services, precision farming, supply of agri inputs and warehousing, access to the market linkage services, access to credit and finance to the farmers. So these all services are captured in portions or the whole in all of these startups. And then we are having another categories of business, agribusiness, which work on farm mechanization. Then we are having drone services, which is supported by ministry also. Government is supporting and funding a lot to employ drones in agriculture. And here at IIT Ropar also we are planning to train people like drone women who can use drones for fertilizers and spraying other things. Then process innovation works on quality check area, grading, sorting, packaging. Then we are creating sustainability solutions for agriculture. Then food processing innovations are coming up. So these are the basic service areas, or you can see the functional areas where business startups are actually trying their luck. Now we will see that where such functions, such services actually play their role in the overall agribusiness value chain. So this is a well-known value chain in agriculture where it is shown that how the things move from the pre-production stage to the customers. So it starts with pre-production like soil testing, preparation, production, post-production, industrial processing, and finally it leads to the customers. And where is the role of agribusiness over here? So first is that they can get into all of these verticals through their technology and services. So this was happening since long back. And after the advent of technology, AI and ML, people are now looking at integrated supply chain solutions. Right. So various functions of agriculture now getting integrated onto one platform. For example, precision agriculture is there, where a real-time supply of farmland data along with agriculture scientists inputs usually help the farmers to take decisions in the real time, right? When to deploy fertilizers, when to deploy seeds, when to how much to irrigate, how to save crops from the attack of different elements. So those things are monitored in real time with the help of various sensor based services, app based services, and information integration across the supply chain. So this is an overview of where agriculture business startups are working and how these startups are innovating themselves, right? Now let's move to the basic pedagogy, right? Why do we need case study method? What exactly does it teach us? So when we look at the history of case study method, so it has been a very effective tool since the ancient times. So we have been learning through our elders, like the recitation of epics like Ramayana, Mahabharata, Ramcharitmanas, and everything else. So that actually teaches things with the help of case studies only, and those case studies actually are helping us to, serve certain purpose like building character or so. So here also the same, pedagogy, that the learning method has been employed in business. And this has been a very popular method in all across the institutes of business. For example, IIMs are there. Even in IITs, there are management schools are there. And outside India, you can say Harvard Business School, INSEAD, and many others. No, all those business schools are consuming, you can say, consuming case studies to teach their children, teach their students. So uh, the case consumption rates, when you will see that per course, more than 20 to 30 case studies are being discussed in IITs and IIMs in one course. Right. So overall, when you look at the business students case study, case consumption, then as compared to foreign countries, India has very less rate of case consumption. Maybe different reasons could be there, but when we look at the leading business schools like Harvard and INSEAD, though their students, they consume more than 600 to 700 cases in their entire tenure of 2 years, and that made them so prepared that they can come up with more global startups. Let's say we are using all kinds of platforms like Facebook or Amazon or similar other global startups are there. Those are actually started in mostly in the garage, tech-based startups, and then with the help of the management education, they have grown further and they have spread all across the world. So that's the power of the case study. So the 10th, Dean of Harvard Business School, Nitin Lohariya, actually listed down some of the basic functions of a case study, that how what actually it teaches. So the first thing that case study does is that it identifies the real business dilemma and decision. Right. So every case study help us to equip us to take certain decisions in business scenario, and the scenarios are such that there are no sure shot solutions, no certain choices are there. Only you can guess is the set of multiple possibilities. So it is just like a real life situation. Either you can correlate it with your personal life decisions, or wherever any kind of decision which is fraught with multiple threats, multiple risks, challenges, lack of resources, and then you have to take the decision, because that is a question of survival. So those questions are actually addressed through uh, case studies. But before that, we need to identify business dilemmas and decisions where multiple options with different weightage are possible. Right. And thereafter, we identify the size of the business challenge in the context of the industry and society at large, because all the business challenges are not that big where management can form a team or hire experts to solve it. Instead, some business challenges are quite temporary in nature, and those can be solved by itself, within the in-house efforts. So just, hire some, staff and come up with a discussion, and then you can find solution. But certain solutions require lot of market research and lot of comparing of strategic objectives of the business, that whether to uh, go ahead with this business, or whether to create a new product line in the business, whether to change the market of the business, whether to stay in the domestic market, or whether to go into the international market. There are several big decisions that requires intensive capital investments, right? And intensive, uh, long-term effort to sustain. So those kinds of decisions actually requires estimating the size of the business challenge that the manager is facing. And then we can apply the right business concepts. So many textbook concepts will be there. Those can be applied in the cases to solve the problem. And those textbook concepts are not just concepts. Those are used as tools. Those are used as theories to understand and project the market. And those theories can help us to create weight in our assumptions, because we are dealing with possibilities and we are dealing with assumptions. So which assumption will carry weight, that will be decided by the previous trend of the market, and marketing theories usually help into that. Then we develop a critical, comparative, and action-oriented judgment with the help of case studies. So it doesn't mean that one judgment could be always wrong. Probably one judgment could be right at a particular scenario. The same judgment may go wrong in another kind of scenario. So a critical thinking approach is important, and that's what case study does. Of course, the purpose of the critical thinking has to be directed into a one single direction. So for the business, the DNA of the business is, of course, to survive and grow in the market. So the bottom line, of course, it is the profit, for profit. And nowadays we are looking at the triple bottom line. So it's not just the profit, but business has to take care of the society as well as the environment. So all kinds of environmental efforts, ESG or triple bottom line, all are talking about multiple focus that the business should attend to. So agriculture is not also a untouched area. So that is also leading towards, orienting into triple bottom line approach. So it's not just for profit, but also for the, social equity as well as the environmentally sustainable solution. So these are the basic uh, notes that I've taken from the article by the Dean of HBR Business School. The article was published very recently. And now I will move to the case. So what the case that I will be talking about is the case of a company called Polygrams Green Private Limited. So I will give you some details about this company and something about the scenario in which the company was in, and the decision making dilemmas that the founders of the companies were facing. So now the next few slides I will be describing some information and putting that information into the context. So you can even Google about this company. You will find its website on the indiamart.com. The year of establishment is 2019. The nature of business is export and manufacturer. Number of employee is less than 10 people. So it is still a small company in terms of number of people. Annual turnover is not disclosed. So it is less than 50 lakhs. So yet to, enter the 1 crore club. And the products is 100% natural dehydrated fruits vegetable. So natural is important here because this is the key value proposition of this company, that they don't want to get into the nutrition loss by applying different dehydrating techniques. So they have very consciously chosen one kind of dehydration technique that I will discuss later. And recently, the company has also plunged into another product categories like powdered spices and powdered leaves. So I'll talk about that. These are the two founders, Shreyash Patil and Sushrut Patil. So while discussing, or you can say analyzing any case, we first of all need to know about the founding members of the company, because that actually creates the DNA of the company, the foundation of the company and its future trajectory. So founding members' expertise, experience, and their previous generational routing actually describes the future success of the company. In most of the cases, it is correlated. So you can see Shreyash Patil, his background is Bachelor of Engineering, then MBA, and he was an ex-employee of NSDL as a management trainee, and then he was an ex-deputy manager of All Cargo Logistics. So as you can see, qualification-wise also, uh, he was quite a bit exposed to technology as well as management, and experience-wise also, he has managed supply chain, and his primary interest was to work in the operations management area, and his experience as deputy manager in All Cargo Logistics was actually fitting into his interest also. A second partner actually was his cousin brother, Sushrut Patil. So he had a background of BSc Biotech and some experience in the pharmaceutical companies. So Shreyas took some time to prepare himself in terms of education and experience before coming into the business. And Shushruth Patel immediately after education and little experience in pharma companies decided to come into the business. So they first tried into pharmaceutical industry because of Shushruth's exposure to that area. But looking at the cost of investments and the lack of expertise with them, they decided not to get into the pharma industry, and they were still exploring the opportunity that where they can do their business. Then one more information is there. The founders were cousin brothers based in Dahanu, a place in Maharashtra, about 110 kilometers from Mumbai at the coastal area. And about his family, Sushrut's father was in the business of farming fruits. Since both were cousins, so their previous generation were also connected with each other, and they have some background of farming. So they were having some farm of chiku. They were producing chiku and supplying it to the local market. So this was the company background. Next is their decision to enter the dehydration industry. So how they decided is that they were first focusing at the pharma industry, but because of the constraint in that industry, they decided to opt out of it. And it happened that Shreyash met someone in one of the training sessions, and that person was actually expert in dehydrating flowers, and he gave the idea to Shreyas that get into the dehydration industry. It is an unattended market in India. So Shreyas and Shushrut get into the market research, and first of all, they have found that dehydrated fruits and vegetables have improved shelf life. They have compared the shelf life of all kinds of dehydrated product categories. Then they found that many culinary products like snacks, soups, instant noodles are produced using dehydrated vegetables. So they were finding multiple product categories where they can start their business. Regarding the number of companies, they found 50 domestic companies in the country which were involved in dehydration of agro products, and 60% of them were focusing only at spices like turmeric, ginger, garlic powder, etc. And some of them, only some of them, were involved in slices of fruits like bananas, apples, pineapples, beetroot, right? So the main problem, the main focus of the existing industries were on spices. So none of those previous companies tried to magnify, or you can say expand their business in the fruits and vegetable area where Sushrut and Shreyas found the big market gap. So you can see how they are analyzing the market gap. The two entrepreneurs also studied the global market, particularly that of US and Europe, for dehydrated products to validate their business idea. So the fundamental thinking that might be going in their mind that in case the domestic market fails, like we are not able to get accepted in the domestic market, then we must have some backup option. And that's why they were researching the US and European market, because the entire idea of dehydrated product, or you can say stored product consumption, came from their country only. So they have a huge customer base. So even if something fails in the domestic market, they will have some backup option so that their investment should not get unsuccessful. So the findings of the research revealed a significant demand for dehydrated fruits, especially for imported varieties that are full of sugar. So demand was present. Now one can ask that we have done the research today. There is a demand today. Who knows tomorrow there will be demand or not? So this requires a further analysis of the demand. Uh, there are different nature of the demand, there are different patterns of the demand. So that requires a lot of data to be collected of the previous years to see how the demand trends are, whether the demand is increasing or decreasing, whether the demand is seasonal or cyclical. So demand management concept actually covers all these factors when we get into the demand analysis. So for the time being, Shreyash and Sushrut simply understood the current demand, that it is there, it is existing, and there are many industries which are serving to the demand of dehydrated product category. But fruits and vegetables, dehydrated fruits and vegetables demand uh, were not properly studied. So since there was a trace of demand, so they thought that this can grow in future, and probably they don't know about the market much. So a more level of more market research might be required. Still, they decided to get into the industry. Then they did a survey of dehydration technique. So they wanted to get into the technology. One of them were engineers, so they wanted to know whether the traditional dehydration techniques are good, or if we can compare them together and check if there are any differences across these dehydration techniques. Right. So they have tried to create some decision factors. Decision factors were related to the process and the outcome. So process decision, actually somebody is intervening here. Aditya, can you look into? Yeah. So
Yes, sir, it's
so two
visible.
levels of decisions are there. Process based decision, like the choice of technology. Right. So time and cost factor was very important into that. And then the outcome of those technology deployments. So based on whatever drying technique one choose, there will be some change in the originality of the product. Some loss of originality will be there. So they studied that which technique leads to lesser taste loss, lesser texture loss, and lesser nutritional loss. So I will show you one table where they have made the comparison. So they have compared four important dehydration techniques: solar dry, hot air oven dry, freeze dry, and air dry techniques. So you can see they have different range of temperature requirements, like sun dry is at 50 degrees Celsius, hot air or oven dry 50 degrees Celsius, freeze dry happens at -20 to -40, and air dry happens at the room temperature. And you can see the outcome of these kinds of drying techniques. Color originality usually is lost here in solar dry to an extent. Originality loss is also there in hot air. You can see that in freeze dry the original color does not change, and air dry also original color does not change. Fine. So in terms of taste and aroma, you will find that there is no change in taste and aroma when the products are air dried, that is drying at the room temperature. And in other techniques, there are some changes. Freeze dry has the least change, but air dry has no change at all. Then nutrition retention possibility is also there in air dry as well as in freeze dry methods, while other techniques show heavy nutritional loss. Right? Feel like hard and blackish. So these kinds of differences are there under the feel of the product after it is being uh, dried with different techniques. Moisture content is also compared here. You see the highest moisture content left is under air dried product, and it also feels more softer than the other. Then pros and cons are compared. So you see that it is showing air dried product has got highest level of nutritional retention value, and it retains the actual feel of the natural fruit due to 8 to 10% of the present moisture. Right. But the cons is it has very high cost of processing, and that is why it is not being adopted by the current industries. Right. So they chosen this one, air dry method, because they wanted to serve to those kinds of consumers who are liking more nutritional retention. See, nowadays market is also changing, and people are liking more natural, more organic, and the products which has higher nutritional value. So market is also avoiding the packaged products with preservatives and those, because they know that there is a lot of nutritional loss in all kinds of preservative mixed products, and those which are having higher shelf life, and they are made to become so because of certain business requirements. So let's get to their selection. So the two brothers learned about different dehydration techniques, and then they preferred to use the air dried method, while many companies were using freeze dried method to ensure minimum loss of quality in terms of original taste, texture, and nutrition. Right, so this is the technology that they have chosen, although this was a bit risky, because in terms of cost, they are going to lose. Their product will be of the higher cost, but still they wanted to play that game. So this is one of the ways they have differentiated their product as well, because they are playing their game, because they thought that while making the product more nutritious, more original, they will have some section of market which can pay for this, because they might have done some survey, and almost everybody knows that the green products or organic leveled product are selling at a much higher premium price than the normal products, and there is a market for this, and that market segment is actually growing. So hoping that their product will also get success, they've chosen this one, uh, air dry dehydration technique. So they have settled with the technology here. There are other differentiation possibilities. So in management, we think about differentiating the products and make it unique in the market so that it can create its own space with respect to the competitors. So here the method of dehydration is one way of differentiating the product, and that is called process-based differentiation. So that also leads to the quality, the quality in terms of nutrition richness and the originality. So quality is there. The other differentiation techniques could be the brand image. So this is important for those which are well-known brands in the market. Then services can be another level of differentiation. Then pricing is another level of differentiation. So some companies compete on low prices, like those which are in the industry having freeze dried method, they might be differentiating in terms of prices. And of course, they will have some market share for them. Then another differentiation possibility is based on channel choice. Channel means the mechanism by which the products are actually transferred to the customer's doorstep. And there can be multiple, middle level, or you can say intermediate agencies involved to, facilitate this process. So there could be wholesalers, retailers, or online retailers as well. So multiple touch points are there where the product goes through before reaching the consumer's doorstep. So some companies prefer to sell online only. Some companies prefer to sell through retail outlets only. Some companies, prefer to use both the channels, because they know that some customers use online channels for information and offline channel for purchasing. So each of those channels, all the channels have different functions. So by having a proper study of different channels, one can decide that whether it is a good choice to differentiate across channels or not. But for sure, the product should be differentiated, first of all, either quality or the price, because quality differentiation will lead the product towards the higher market segment, the high paying segment, while price-based differentiation will lead the product towards the lower market segments. So both the segments will have their, different size of the market and different profit potential. So this differentiation is done. Next, I'll move to the defining consumer base, how they have defined their consumer base. So there is a concept concept of consumer segmentation. So those of you who have done the marketing course, they are familiar with this concept. So 4 segmentation types are there: geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioral. So geographic segmentation includes the segmentation related to country, state, district, population density, or climatic conditions. Demographic includes age, gender, education, social status, family size, etc. And something that plays a bigger game in the market is the psychographic segmentation, because the first two are, visibly, concrete segments, and these two are present in all kinds of market identification. But the most, the high level of market research happens under psychographic categories. So it is based on the lifestyle, personalities, values, interests, attitudes, etc. So let's say price sensitiveness is one of the psychographic characteristics. Some people are very sensitive towards prices. They want to have economical products. But for some other kind of market, some people, use prices as a proxy for the product being premium. Let's say the word Apple itself highlight some kind of premiumness. So similarly, there are uh, uh, quality conscious consumers, right? So there are quantity conscious as well. So for the same price, people want quantity, high quantity, but they can compromise with quality. But some people are uncompromising on quality, even if the quantity is low. So there are various psychographic factors at which market research is conducted, and some behavioral data is also collected. When the product is launched in the market, then one can study that what kind of benefits one is seeking from the product. Like, uh, the dried fruits can be used either into, Maggie, or it can be used as a snack. So how we are using the same product in different ways. Then need occasions are there, buyer engagement levels or users rate is there, that how frequently we're consuming the products. These kinds of data can be collected from the market if available. But when it comes to a new startup, behavioral data is almost nil. So one has to work only on the psychographic data. If the product is demographic sensitive, let's say if there is an educational platform, then it is demographic sensitive because it will be limited to the limited age group of people. But when there is a food, right, food element, then it can be, suitable to all kinds of demographics. So geography also, it can, percolates across all the geographical territories. So demographic and geographic segmentation doesn't work much here. So that's why one has to identify the psychographic profile of the consumers. Fine. And there are some criteria to identify the segment attractiveness, like how the segment will grow in future, how, the competition will grow in that segment in future, and whether that segment is accessible or not. Right. So their decision about the market segment came up after some research, and they frozen themselves on elite, well-traveled, and health-conscious individuals of Mumbai. So they started their venture from their home state. The customers who have deep pockets, they can pay well product because they have traveled across the world. And then health conscious individuals are there. So of course, those who are not much into health and fitness, they may not be liking this product, or they may not value this product much. So they have created their persona. Next job, the target market strategy. Fine. So far we discussed about the product differentiation in terms of process and quality, and the customer segmentation. Now the target market strategy is actually connected to the channel strategy, that how we want our product to reach the customer doorstep. Should it be through the clients, or should it be a direct, in D2C, like B2C mode, business to customer mode. So if I were the producer of that dried product, dried fruits and vegetables in different formats, so I have the choice either to supply directly to the customers, or I can supply to the business like hotels, restaurant, or you know Nestle or other food processing industries, which can use my product as an ingredient into their food. So there are two ways to do this, B2C and B2B. So in this situation, Shreyash, the co-founder, realized that building a B2C business was a time-consuming process due to the novelty of the product. As he participated in Anu Food India, India's international exhibition on food and beverage trade and retail market in September 2022 at Nesco grounds in Mumbai, he received many leads for third-party manufacturing. The brothers still wanted to create their brand, and manufacturing for other brands seemed like hurting their brand positioning in the future. So here comes the first business dilemma, right? Whether they should go for a B2B mode or B2C mode. B2C is a time consuming process, while B2B is quick because they have already got the third party manufacturing leads. And there was a demand in the local restaurant, hotels, and other food processing outlets for the product. Fine. But at the same time, the cost was that they have to pay, they have to sacrifice their brand for the time being. So this was the first dilemma. But had they been supplied with enough capital, then they could have built their own brand and they could have directly plunged into the market, so that customers can you know uh, directly reach to them. But here another catch is there, whether the product assortments that they were prepared with are actually liked or accepted by the customers or not. Like dried fruits and vegetables, when it comes through the packed Maggie, it can be consumed by the you know uh, kids. But when it comes directly to the customers, it is very less chance that they will press the buy button when they find such kind of items. So the customer acceptance to directly purchase such kind of products is very difficult, very difficult to certain. So that's where market research comes into picture, that whether customers buying habits, or you can say the consuming habits, are aligning with the way we have pitched our product. So they decided to go for B2B mode to begin with. So the product category they froze into was dehydrated, zero sugar fruits and vegetables. I'm just giving you a recap. Customer segment: elite, well-traveled, health-conscious individuals. Brand name: uh, they branded their product as Croutons. Then they were exploring the opportunity for quality certifications, because regulations across different countries require them to have clean labeling and packaging, and provide precise information on ingredients, sources, processing techniques, etc. So in some countries, such regulations are not that strict, but since they were considering Europe and US as their potential markets, then they have to comply with such regulations, and they, got themselves into the process of having such certifications. Now, another challenge was pricing, since the technique that they have chosen, air dry method, was an expensive one, but also they were having a higher level of quality. So they were playing that game. Uh, so the prices of the raw materials varied based on rain, season, and quality. That is quite obvious in agriculture sector. A right amount of ripeness of fruits was needed for the taste. Maintaining an inventory was difficult, which added to the price. So actually, it might be leading to the wastage, and the share of wastage actually was piling up on the current prices. Their pricing was higher because the product were air dried, not sun dried or freeze dried. air-dried products were more nutritious than sun-dried or freeze-dried products. However, no consumer understood this fine detail. That is the problem. These details were not being communicated or understood by the consumers. So freeze-dried products were equally priced, and the main competitors were sun-dried and sugar-dried international fruits, which were cheaper. So these were the competitors, and the quality at which they were competing on was, not being, under the awareness of the Indian consumers, because Indian consumers were not, properly, educated, uh, because, no one outside the agriculture industry might be knowing uh, about, these different drying methods unless and until they have some interest into that. So huge chunk of population are unaware of these drying methods, and they are also might be concluding that any kind of packaged, dried food, have similar kind of nutritional content. So they were even not aware about the quality of the drying method which are used to used to dry the product. So the quality needs to be communicated. This was the challenge. When they have to get to the direct B2C mode of business, then they first of all have one task, that they should communicate their quality in a proper language. So that requires, lot of, investments into marketing and branding of the product, right? So let's go to the next slide. This is about the consumer awareness that I've just discussed. I will just skip this. Now coming to the competition, uh, they have found that there were around 50 domestic companies in the country involved in the dehydration of agro products, but 60% of these companies focus on spices like turmeric, ginger, garlic, or powder, and very few of them were, getting into apples, fruits and vegetables. However, the main product remains the spices for them. Fine. So Polygram Green is more focused on developing the market for dehydrated fruits and vegetables. See, this is a challenge they have taken. They are not serving to the existing or well-developed market. In fact, they have to develop the market for the product. And market development requires creating a demand for the product. So the demand is created only when people know about the benefits and the quality of that product. Then only they will be, willing to pay for that product, or they will be willing to pay higher amount for that product. So that was a challenging task because they were just startups and they were not having enough funding to invest into marketing. So they also tried taking loans from different banks, but most of the times their loan application have got rejected, and after a lot of struggle they finally managed to, get loan from one of the banks that actually demanded a higher value of collateral. So still they just kicked off their business, and they continued with their value proposition. Now I'm coming to the key challenges. So in one of the scenarios of the case, Shreyas and Sushrut, they realized that they could participate in two exhibitions being held on the same days in Mumbai and Dahanu to display their brand Fruton. So I just like all of you to pay attention over here, that this is the case scenario. This is actually an action trigger where we need to think upon. So both the entrepreneurs were thinking to participate in the two parallel exhibitions on the same day. One was in Mumbai, other was in Dahanu, to display their brand. So this is a kind of their own marketing effort. So both were sure that their product line would get a better response. So Dahanu festival was their home turf, as they belonged to Dahanu, a small coastal town situated 110 kilometers from Mumbai. Shreyash was looking after the display of his premium product line in Pre-Diwali Exhibition 2022, organized by World Trade Center, Kolaba in Mumbai, while Shushruth was on the Dahanu festival. In the end of the day, Shushruth sold his small inventory of rupees 50,000 at Dahanu, and Shreyas sat in front of his full display with a mere 5,000 sales in Mumbai. So see the two markets, two different characteristic of market, and see the level of sales for the same set of product. So there was a starting difference. Perplexed and tired, Shreyas pondered, why are we not getting this right? Where is our audience, our target customer base? Is it in rural India or true metros or abroad? Is it everywhere or is it nowhere? So that was the situation that the Shreyash was facing at that time, because his sales was very low at that day and he was struggling to make his business grow. So this is the scenario, and some more information about the future direction is given. The annual sale of returns in the financial year 2022-23 was close to rupees 1 crore. Still, they haven't crossed that 1 crore mark. And the Shreyas was wondering about his market share in the Indian market. So please remember, this is about the annual sales. It is not the profit. So it is the revenue. He was thinking about his company's marketing efforts, competitive landscape, and customer adoption. So these are the problems he was pondering upon. And 1 year back, he had a setback that he did not figure out where is the market. He also participated in an international expo in Dubai, and you see, the experience in Dubai opened Shreyas mind towards big export market, as he met the owner of another dehydrated brand, Fruidate, another brand owner who had left domestic business completely and entered exports. So he also left India and entered the export market, and he was getting more successful over there. So a big international brand executive also appreciated their dehydrated cabbage and carrot, and it's a big market if we meet the quality standards, thought Shreyas. So just I will repeat these two slides once again, just to let you go through the information presented. So in this slide, the business dilemma is that, uh, in this slide, the dilemma was that at one place in Dahanu, the sales were high. All the stocks were sold, but in Mumbai, there was very little sell, right? And it was in the exhibition in 2022, right? And Shreyas was pondering over the right market, whether it is here or there, in urban areas or in rural areas. And in the next slide, the information is talked about the international market, how lucrative the international market can be if it doesn't work in the domestic market. Right, he was getting leads from other entrepreneurs and appreciations as well for the product. So Suresh knew that the product is being appreciated, it is good, and it has a very good success potential. But at the same time, he was having a lead that its success is mostly in the international market. Domestic players have already left the business. Fine. Now the question is, whether Shreyas and Sushrut should continue exploring the domestic market or they should plunge into the international market. So this is the business dilemma. At one hand, Shreyas and Sushrut were thinking that India has a very huge population base and customers are already churning towards having more organic, more environmental sensitive products, more nutrition rich products, right? But the previous history of such industry was not showing successful results. So only with the trend of consumer taste transition, they came to know that we have some potential in India as well. So whether they should invest their efforts to penetrate the Indian market, or they should immediately switch to the export market, or they should consider both the alternatives together. But since they are having less money, less capital to invest, they have to focus their marketing efforts into one area on a priority basis, right? So this is the business challenge. At the same time, the other challenge was that whether they should go directly to the consumers or they should go through the industrial buyers, right? So since they have been appreciated for their products by the industry buyers and they knew that there are leads in the foreign industries which can consume their products, so they have got a very good chance to get accepted over there. So where they should point their efforts. So this is the case challenge. Now I will pause here and before moving to the other slide, I will ask something from you that what do you think, where should these two entrepreneurs move? Whether they should get into the domestic market, they should concentrate their efforts, or they should target the international markets. So anyone who can volunteer to answer?
Yes, students, you can answer to this question based on this case study. What would you would have done if you were in this position? What would be the best strategy in this case? Anyone can unmute themselves and they can talk.
See, there is no right or wrong answer in solving cases, so do not hesitate. See, everything based on assumptions and the available information. Some information lead us to make one assumption, other set of information lead us to another assumption. So based on whatever you think, you can suggest that where one should focus their efforts. Domestic market or international market, this is the main challenge.
Sir, we have a response in the chat box. Neeraj Kumar has written that they should focus on domestic market as Indian population is being aware about the health and population is huge. Yes, Sambhavi, you can talk. You can speak.
You can speak. Whoever is willing to speak, आप बात कर सकते हैं. How much time do we have, Aditya?
Sir, we have half an hour, sir.
Half an hour, so we can now start some discussions.
Yeah. Yes, students of MBA, Sambhavi, you can unmute yourself and talk. It should be a
आपको
two-way.
क्या लगता है कि बिजनेस किधर जाना चाहिए? Can go for international market for now and then domestic. All right. Target international export when the business grows, when they can think of investing in domestic market. All right. पहले domestic market में करना चाहिए. Fine. See, these are the decisions that we can recommend. Now, if somebody can speak, then I can lead the discussion in another direction, another level. Agribusiness students are there?
Hello.
Yes, they're there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. I think they should target in international market as they know they other companies have gotten success in that. So after they got success and they acquired funds from international market, then they can grow in domestic market and retry their success. I guess.
Okay, fine. That's a good opinion, Shambhavi. Of course, you might be taking a more defensive stand for the company, right? They should earn from the already established market first, and then they venture out into a risky market. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, fine. Any other position? Is there anyone who can defend the domestic market here? Yeah, I can see someone has mentioned domestic market, Deep Shikha. So आप बता सकती हो why domestic market?
गुड आफ्टरनून सर. सर इसलिए करना चाहिए क्योंकि डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में मतलब यहाँ पे पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज्यादा है, तो कुछ तो लोग होंगे जो उस चीज को अडॉप्ट करेंगे. मतलब एज अ इन मतलब बाहर के मार्केट के कंपैरिजन में।
ठीक है. So see, here comes the difference in entrepreneurial spirit. Fine. We take decisions based on available information and the past trends. So past trend कुछ और हमें बता रहा है कि there is a success somewhere else, but entrepreneurial hunch says that there will be a success even here where other peoples haven't tried their luck, right? So entrepreneurs usually try to develop a new market for the product they are confident for, right? So क्योंकि टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है, जितने भी टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड स्टार्टअप्स हैं, those were not in demand right away. They gradually created their market. It took some time, but now they are well established. Most of the tech startups are actually dominating the agribusiness market, right? So here also, when you see the nature of product differentiation, it was basically based on quality and technology, right? The drying method and the nutrition richness, right? So do you like to suggest, Shushruत and Shreyas, कि थोड़ा आप और डोमेस्टिक मार्केट का रिसर्च कर लो, दूसरे प्रोडक्ट कैटेगरीज में देख लो कि जो ग्रीन और ऑर्गेनिक प्रोडक्ट का जो मार्केट है वो कितना बड़ा है. Suppose that you get this much of information, is it possible to develop a market within India itself? I'm not denying the possibility of entering the foreign market. That is also a very safe choice. You know, safer choice is there, but they are looking for future development, right? But the see, एक और प्रॉब्लम है इसमें, एक और प्रॉब्लम है कि जब डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में वो एंटर करेंगे, देन दे कैन गो इनटू डायरेक्ट B2C मोड. यहाँ पे कंज्यूमर्स का बेस सबसे बड़ा है. गॉट इट? सम बैकग्राउंड नॉइज इज कमिंग. So but when they try the international market, there they have the option of going into B2B mode, right? So the consumers will get the product through some other intermediaries, be it hotel or restaurant or other packaged food industry. Fine. So of course, they have to do the pricing accordingly. They have to keep the margins for the wholesalers, agents, and retailers into that. So since they are not reaching the consumers directly, they have to, make losses in terms of margins in B2B mode. But in B2C mode, probably they have a huge, market share and a very good growth potential, right? So there is a dilemmatic situation. पहले क्या करें, डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में जाएं या international market में जाएं? If we go in B2B mode, there will be a brand dilution of the company in short run. And if we go to the B2C mode, and if we get the huge venture capitalist investments into our company, then we can immediately get into the marketing and brand building. We can float the ads through all the social media sites and all those marketing networks, and within a few months the brand will get its reputation in the market and the consumers will drive the company afterwards, right? So Shushrut and Shreyas may have the option to try venture capitalists and other funding agencies so that they can get into the marketing, right? They have mentioned that they are reaching the sales of around 1 crore, but they are still to reach the break even. ठीक है? कंपटीशन डोमेस्टिक मार्केट में कम है. कंपटीशन इसमें कम है कि ज्यादा है? It depends on how many industries are using air dried method to enhance quality, right? So of course there is almost no nil competition in the domestic market, but the question is again whether customers understand about it. दो कंपनी है, हम जा रहे हैं एयर ड्राइड मेथड से प्रोडक्ट बना करके और आप जा रहे हो फ्रीज ड्राइड मेथड से प्रोडक्ट बना के, तो कस्टमर्स दोनों प्रोडक्ट में डिफरेंशिएट कैसे करेगा? Why they will pay more for my product, right? So that requires See, you can talk also. That's a very good question. Why can't they go for B2C in a foreign market? Okay, Priya, you have a very good point. Foreign market. So the basic, attraction by which they were thinking of foreign market as an option was the third party agencies, the manufacturers who like their product in the industry expos, right? So they were actually linking themselves through the B2B channel itself, right? Foreign markets have some conservation towards nationalistic products, right? So, of course, Indian brands are much favorable among Indians in England, right? Indians in Dubai, Indians in America. So, like this, it happens. So, foreign market में भी build करने के लिए बाहर के Indians भी देखेंगे कि इंडिया में आपका brand popular है कि नहीं है. So, that also requires some brand building within the domestic market, isn't it? So once Indians will like the Indian company, then foreigners will like, right? NRIs will also like it. So there is no brand as of now. All right. So any B2C venture first requires a kind of image and reputation in the market, a trust in the market. Why? They will buy your product at the first hand when there are alternatives available, right? So you can have some counter opinion against me also. Any further point? Any observation or question here? All right. So we have got multiple positions over here based on the opportunity to get investments in the business. This actually helps to decide whether one should go in the brand building campaign. Otherwise, one can simply get into the B2B mode and simply target the safer market, which is an international market, right? In any business, there are multiple market segments, right? So one can try the alternate segments and concentrate their efforts as per the investments one is having. Accordingly, one can prioritize it, right? So brand building as well as both. And when it comes to international market, channel establishment is also important. Establishing the channel partners through B2B members is also important. So that is again another level of challenge. Getting certifications from other agencies like foreign agencies. You cannot get quality certifications very easily from any other country other than India, right? Indian companies get easily certified here. But if you are a startup, you have to get certification from, England or UAE or America. You have to pass through multiple levels of application process, right? So that is also a time consuming process. So once again, there is a business dilemma. So of course you can take one side, either get into the safer, mode as per the entrepreneurial spirit. You want to survive first, get into the safer option. If you want to take the risk, right, the other option is also quite suitable. See, all depends upon how much entrepreneurial venture spirit you are having within you, right? And some kind of secondary research will also support your claim, like get into the market survey, market research of your industry acceptance, like dried product industry in the market. What are the different product categories are there, and see how fast that industry is growing in last 10 years or so. If you see the industry is profitable, domestic industry is profitable, you can try that also. All right. So, do we have more time, Aditya, or shall we
Yes, sir.
conclude?
Yes, sir. We have some few more minutes with us. So, participants, we can invite
Okay.
questions from participants. Yeah. So, with your permission, we can invite questions from participants if they have any questions regarding management or the future of this discipline.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So, participants, if you have any questions regarding management in particular, since there is a faculty of management, So sir will be the best person to answer this. And also you can ask questions regarding research methodology or regarding case studies, how these are useful in research and in normal day-to-day study also. You can ask sir and try to make the most use of this time. So anyone can unmute themselves and they can ask the questions.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes,
Yes,
audible.
Myself, Mr. Kumar from Rajasthan, sir. Sir, I have a question that how can we register for agribusiness?
Registration, it is just like registering for any private limited company. There are multiple ways to register as a company, as a proprietary concern, as a private limited company, or as a family business, right? So a lot of things are there available. If you talk to any CA, chartered accountant, he can help you out into that in which mode you want to go, because all of these kinds of registration will have some implications on tax impacts. So tax, and also how to report your company performance, annual reports, publications. So if your revenue reaches above 50 lakhs or so, then you have to publish reports like this, audited reports. So those terms and conditions are there. So first of all, you have to choose yourself under what entity, what form of entity you have to register. So here in this case, we
Means,
saw that they have registered as हाँ हाँ जी बोलिए.
any registration required from FSI or any agriculture department for that?
Sorry,
I want
agriculture
to ask that
department क्या?
is there any registration from DPT?
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
Sir, he's asking, is there any department in agriculture which is dealing with such registration?
No, it's not by see. This is a simple company registration, right? So it has nothing to do with Department of Agriculture or so. So they can help, in pulling up resources, connecting to the government policies and schemes, and to reap the benefit of those schemes, like getting loans or getting to the agriculture scientists and their expertise, getting to the network of different people, different academicians and universities.
कुणाल सरांच्या दादाश्री जीवन द्यायचं 10%.
Pratik is saying something.
10%. Sorry. So,
Is any other questions?
right.
Hello.
So sir, we have a question in the chat box written by Neeraj. So he's asking,
Sir, hello.
yeah,
वाशिममध्ये ते नाही ना श्रुती कशा
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
yes.
Yeah.
Sir, I am Praful Kale from Navsari Agriculture University, Gujarat.
Okay.
Sir, I would like to discuss that both markets, domestic and international, with the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, I would like to compare the both markets, international and domestic. The one is the.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yes, keep talking. We are
Yeah.
listening.
Yes, okay, sir. Okay, sir. If we see the Indian markets, consumer base is available, but I think in compared to international markets, Indian consumers are less aware about that dried products, and they are little bit less conscious than international consumers. Second one is fresh produce is available in India, as we are at the top in production, and Indian consumers like to feel and touch that fresh fruit. we can target at international level where the production is less of that fruit, which fruit or any vegetable is there. Less production is available there. That market we can target at international level. And
Okay. So, thank you, Praful. Your point is worth noting. So first of all, we must go for a market research. So the market research also has to get some objective. So one objective is that to calculate and compare the profitability of the product that we are having. In domestic market, probably selling 100 units of the product will give you the same level of profit when you sell 10 units of the product in the international market, right? So we need to understand the profitability based on the consumer segment we are targeting, because there you will be selling in dollars, here in Indian rupees. This is one factor. Likewise, there may be multiple factors. Another factor could be that acceptance of the product that we were talking about. Suppose that Indians in the foreign countries are not accepting it, but foreigners of their own country might be accepting your product if it goes through the B2B channel. If you sell and supply to the restaurant of the foreign countries, they may make your products reach to the foreign customers or even Indians. Who knows what's there inside the packet, whose product is there, right? So you see that how the product is traveling to the end users, and then what is the share of profit it is generating. So it requires a lot of market research and comparison in terms of both cost and benefits, and then we can get to know about any concrete conclusion.
Right, sir. So any other questions? Sir,
Hello,
yeah. Go ahead.
sir. I
Yes.
have also one doubt. Can
Uh,
can we also try to sell the product as B2C in metro cities
mm,
where people have deep pockets, like they want to invest in healthy things, and B2B in international market? Like if we only focus on metro cities, then the investment is also not so big, and we can also at the same time go for B2B in international market. Is it a good idea or not?
uh, your voice is a bit breaking. I couldn't hear your last line. Uh,
Is it a good idea or not as to go B2C in metro cities only of
mhm,
India,
mhm.
and B2B in international market? Like,
Yes, I think that's a very good point. Uh, So in a way, you are actually going for a multi-segment targeting option, right? You
yes, sir.
identified two different segments across two different territories of the world, and then trying to target them. So of course, if we go with the assumption of unlimited resources, we can adopt this strategy. But when we have a limited budget, then we have to trade our options, that which would be the better one. So let's say once you have very less cost in production, right? Not much fixed cost is involved. You are familiar with the concept of fixed and variable cost, no? I believe so, as a management student. So
Yes, sir.
so fixed cost is not changing. What is changing is the variable cost. And when you are getting into the domestic market, what will be the highest cost component? What is the critical cost component in the domestic market? Supply chain cost is there, right? Supply chain cost will be there for the foreign market because the product has to travel a long distance. But in the domestic market, the customer may be sitting at the next door, right? But the question is that whether he will take your product. This is the question. You know that your product is very good, highly nutritious, good quality, better than the other competitors, but does the customer know this, right? So what is the cost of building a perception of quality in the market? that has to be addressed first, right? Cost of building perception in the domestic market versus cost of supply chain in the foreign market, right? Both the cost may be compared and then you can take the decision. Of course, if you have enough funds, you can go in both the directions, right? But in case there is a limitation, you have to trade off based on the cost, right? So I haven't covered the brand building exercise in this because that requires another 2 to 3 hours to discuss. But still, you can have some pointers to think upon, right? Uh, Hope I have answered your question. So I can take
Yes,
one
sir.
more question.
Sir, we have a question in chat box which was unanswered. So can you please provide me any information with how one should plan to create a seeds related business? Uh, so
All right. See, there is no very specific rule to create a business for any particular industry. It works on a similar, standard protocol, right? Uh, for you, I will suggest you to Google something called business model canvas. This is a very famous model for entrepreneurs who can make use of the concepts of this canvas to create any kind of business, be it seed, be it fertilizer, be it any technical consultancy or anything for the shake. Right. So it starts with market research itself. As I have presented in this case study, first, do the market research, try to understand the demand. And if you are entering into a red ocean means highly competitive market, first of all, try to understand that where you would like to pitch in the market, whether the market will, kick you off or allow you in, right? There are many seed manufacturers in the market, right? Many international manufacturers are there, multinational corporations are supplied seed in the Indian market. Now the question is, in what role you would like to enter? Are you entering as a manufacturer, or are you simply entering as a trader or an agent in the same supply chain, right? So after settling this decision, let's say if you're trying to enter as a manufacturer, then there are big players already in the market. You have to create one particular uniqueness which the market will accept. Why the market will accept your seeds, and not seeds supplied by other reputed multinational corporations, right? So if you have enough strength in your value proposition, you can communicate it to the market, and then of course you can get success, right? But when you are simply trying to enter in the existing supply chain as some another replication of an agent, let's say you are a retailer or wholesaler, then you just have to take a franchisee and open a business. That's not a big deal, right? But if you're coming with some technically innovated seed, right, which hasn't been in the market before, then of course you have a very good opportunity in the market, right? And you can always enter into the B2B mode first, because you cannot, create perception for your seed unless and until, longitudinal trials are conducted and success stories are published. Farmers are not going to take your seed, right? Unless you have some reputation built among them. So once again, you have to try both kinds of option, B2C option directly by perception building, or B2B option, right? Or you can say patent, create a patent and then sell it to the existing any, commercial company to uh, get it to the market. So these are the some of the ways to get into it. So if I have understood your question, I tried answering it at my best. You can, ask me anything further if you wish.
so we have 1 minute left. Any more questions that you would like to ask? So I guess sir has answered all the questions. So thank you so much, sir, for your time, and it was really very informative. And we got to learn a lot regarding this case study and regarding this entrepreneurship dilemma and how we should solve it. What are the future directions that we should take? Since there is no correct answer to it, we should be judging based on different criterias. So thank you all the students and thank you for your questions. And I hope that all of you have filled the feedback form. I have again provided the feedback form in the chat box, so you can please fill it. So once again, I would like to thank Ritesh sir for his time. So sir has taken time from his busy schedule and has made a excellent presentation for us. So I'm really thankful to you, sir, for this. So on
Thank
behalf
you,
of
Aditya.
myself, Center of Excellence in Teaching and Learning, and on behalf of my university, and on behalf of our director, Students Welfare, sir, I thank you for deliberating, for taking your time, sir. So, sir, few of the participants are asking your email ID. So,
Yeah, you can share my email ID with them. And I also like to talk a few words. Like,
yes,
first of all, of course, thank you for inviting me over there for this talk. And since, my research area is quite different, and here at IIT Roper, we are ready with another center of excellence known as Indian Knowledge System. And we are also trying to, collaborate with agriculture faculty who are working in ancient knowledge techniques of Indian agriculture, particularly the scientific knowledge, not in terms of business. So we are trying to, promote those kinds of ancient knowledge, this seed preservation methods, or whatever techniques are available. We want to bring it at the forefront, which can be helpful, right? So because there are a lot of debates of natural farming versus organic farmings, what are all those, right? So
yes,
those should be taken at the forefront, and once it is there at the scientific level, we can connect it to the business level as well, because we are looking at the demand. The current demand of the market is such that even people at the lower strata also looking for high quality information is available in the hands. Everybody can now distinguish what is a good food and what is a bad food now, right? So given a choice, if the prices are brought down, there will be a very big market for high quality food in India, right? So we will be happy to see what is being done in the agriculture at this front, and then we will take it up. So
absolutely, sir. So we are also working on indigenous technical knowledge, and we are
mhm.
documenting the scientific evidence of the indigenous knowledge of farmers, and we are trying to validate it with the scientific community. So it is a good opportunity, sir, for us to collaborate with you. We'll talk on this, sir, later.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Yes.
fine. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for
So thank you,
patiently
sir.
listening to me. And
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
So I'll be
Thank you.
sharing the I'll be sharing the presentation of sir with all of you, and also I'll be sharing the participation certificate. All those who have filled the feedback form. So I'll also be sharing this feedback form with Ritesh sir. So I have also asked that what more questions do you have that you forgot to ask in this? So I'll put forward those questions, sir, to you. So thank you.
sure, no problem. Huh?
Yes, sir. Thank you
Okay,
so much, sir, once again. So we can end this session now.
thank you.